Hello, and I hope you are well. I want to talk to you about the framework that we're going to use for our last assignment, for our article. You will be writing a very short article for a magazine, so you know the audience already. The audience is the magazine reader, and you know writing for a magazine is going to be a little bit different than writing for a peer-reviewed journal, right? And so, I tell you, anytime you speak or write, the first thing you need to think about is your audience. And so we've thought about our audience. So you're going to be writing a magazine article for a magazine reader, and our article is going to follow the MADE framework. MADE is an acronym, M-A-D-E, and each of those letters stand for a specific component within your article. And to get a good grade on your article, you need to follow the framework. So just like you did with your presentation where you had to follow the framework, it's the same thing with this article. You need to follow this framework. And I'm hoping that by utilizing this framework, you will be more apt to use it in the future when you might have a little bit of writer's block or not sure how to start or how you want to organize what you're writing. And the cool thing about this framework is that you can use it not just for articles, but for emails. You can use it for staff updates, for a letter to your constituents, like a final report. I mean, there's just so many ways you could use this framework. So let's talk about the framework, and then I'll give you some examples and you'll be on your way. The framework, the MADE framework, again, the M stands for message, and that's the opening paragraph. You need to do some things in the opening paragraph for your message. And then just like you had a call to action at the end of your presentation, you're going to have an action. What do you want the reader to do with this information right up front? Okay, so we tell them right up front what we want them to do when we're writing. So we don't wait till the end, we do it right up front. And then the details or what needs to happen for them to be able to implement this action that you're asking them to do. And then the ending is a recap. It might be, next steps, etc. So the MADE framework uses an acronym, M-A-D-E. M stands for message, A stands for action, D stands for details, and E stands for ending. Let's talk about all of these different components. The message has to have a couple of things in there. This is your first paragraph, so right off the bat, what you want to do is include a statement of rhetorical purpose. And I say it like that just because it's kind of, it just sounds so big, and it's not. All it is you got to connect with your readers' why. That's pretty much it. When people are reading stuff, they don't spend a lot of time anymore. If you don't engage them within the first few seconds, they're going to click onto something else. So not only do we look at clicks and how often people click on things, but we also start monitoring how long they stay on a page. And so we want people to stay on our pages as long as possible. So you've got to get them right from the beginning. And right from the beginning, it would be to connect and with their why, of course, because that engages people. We're going to use both facts and feelings in our article, but we want to engage them by building some rapport and by having them answer, what's in it for me? Like, what's in it for me if I give you 15 minutes of my life to read this? What am I going to get out of it? So you want this in literary circles. It's called the statement of rhetorical purposes, but it's really just connecting with your readers' why and whiffing them. Whiff them. W-I-I-F-M is an old sales technique. And, my first career was in sales and marketing, so I whiff them all the time. What's in it for me? Looking at your perspective from your audience's point of view, what's in it for me? What are they going to get out of this by reading the article? In your message, okay, the first paragraph of your MADE framework, you must also present a problem and a solution. So your reader must have some problem, okay? What problem do they have and what is the solution? So you're going to give them the problem that they have, and then you're going to offer the solution, and that will hook them as well. And again, problems and solutions have been around for thousands and thousands of years. I mean, think of any good story. There's always a problem, and then there's a solution. There is a problem like Darth Vader. The solution is, may the force be with you. There's a problem with a maniacal scientist. The solution is the antidote and the hero who is, giving everyone the antidote. Or, the problem is some monster under the bed and the solution is shining a light on it. So our DNA is made for problems and solutions. Okay, so in your message, the first component of your MADE framework, in your first paragraph, in your message, you must tell the reader, one, what's in it for them if they read it. That's also called the statement of rhetorical purpose, or the why. You'll want to build rapport. Who I am is just like you. You're going to do it just like you do your presentation. And then you got to offer a problem and a solution. Hey, reader, you have this problem. And guess what? Ha, I have the solution. Bam, bam, bam. Okay. So we really, when we write, tell people up front exactly what's going to happen so that they can determine if they want to keep reading, which is what you want them to do. Okay, that's the message. Then the action. What do you want the reader to do with the information? And you tell them right up front, I want you to go to your kitchen cupboards and throw away this. I want you to replace your sodas with this. I want you to tell 3 other women. I want you to post your picture of your meal on Instagram. I want you to talk to your legislators. Whatever it is, you got to tell them what you want them to do right up front. Oftentimes the message and the action are in the same paragraph, like the first paragraph or the actions in the second paragraph. If you don't put the message and the action in the first or second paragraphs, you better justify it. So you better let me know why, because the framework dictates that the message has to come first, the first paragraph. The action can be woven into the first paragraph, or it could be its own standalone second paragraph. But paragraphs 1 and 2 of your article need to have the message components and the action components. So here's an example of a paper from another classmate a year ago. So you wake up for school, shuffle out of bed, and you make your way towards the bathroom, dreading the next step, getting on the scale to see which number appears. You reluctantly hope to see the number decrease, and you give out a defeated sigh. Does that sound like a problem? Yes, you have a problem. You're walking to the scale, you're getting on the scale, and nothing's changed. You are not alone. Many of us struggle with losing weight. If you want 3 surefire ways to get that scale to budge next week, look no further. Written by an RD, an expert in food and nutrition, the following article shares research-based ideas on how to finally lose weight and feel satisfied doing it. Okay, so what's in it for the reader? Is that they're going to feel satisfied and they're going to be able to lose weight. That's what's in it. That's the why. That's what they want. Okay, that's their statement of rhetorical purpose. What's in it for the reader? And then did you see how did you notice how they built rapport? When we're writing for the real world, you guys, we're not writing in third person anymore. He, she, it, them. We're reading, it's us, it's you and me. It's very personal. And you can see how the language here is many of us struggle. Okay, you're not alone. This is all about the rapport building. And then you can see how the details of what you need to do is after the action is that doing these research-based ideas, okay, and to read on and apply an idea your next meal. So it's all in there, okay, in this example. It's really, really good. Here's another wonderful example. When you read this, I'm going to have you go back and read it after this presentation's over. I'm not going to wait, but I want you to be able to find where's the problem, what's the solution, is there a call to action, and there is. How was the statement of rhetorical purpose, the why, how do we connect with them? You know, what's in it for me? Did we do the why? Do we connect with that statement of rhetorical purpose? And then finally, how do we build rapport? Okay, how do we build rapport with our audience? So food insecurity and college students, the audience is college students. Are we using words that college students would use? Are we talking in a way that college students would talk? Are we being personable, you and me and us versus, you know, he, she, or they? So look at this example under food insecurity. It's one of my favorites. It has all the components of the message and the action. And then here's another fun one on chai tea. Again, you know, is there a problem? Is there a solution? And not all problems have to be like heavy. I mean, the problem here is, are you a same old pumpkin spice latte girl? Pooh, get out of that mode and get into the forward thinking chai tea. Okay, so problem, solutions, there's a statement of rhetorical purpose, there's a why, there's a with 'em. There is also rapport that's being built. I mean, she talks about UGG boots. I mean, come on. I mean, how much more can you connect with, you know, that kind of a readership, that kind of an audience, you know. The people who drink pumpkin spice lattes also wear UGG boots for the fall, right? And then also there's an action that they want you to take. So come back to this, read these examples. These are great examples, A+. Okay, so this is how your message should look when you write your article, as well as the action. Then the details, remember the MAID framework, the details is the section where this is pretty much your three content areas, right? Your three content areas. So when you think about your lesson plan, these are your three content areas. So you have the message, the action, the details, and then this is the bulk of your article. We're going to go, you're going to tell them what you're going to tell them in your message, right? We're going to solve your problem, bam, 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 okay? And those are your three content blocks. And then you go into your three content blocks and you give them the solution that they need, all of the details for them to implement and take that action and get the results, okay? And so the three details from that volumetrics sample was she went in to talk about high fiber foods. She went to talk about eating soups first. And then drinking water. So those are her details, okay, that supported her solution to the problem the reader had. And then the ending is just final words of wisdom. It's reiterating the action, highlight the importance of them taking action. Now, what we talked about first was that I want you to go back and da 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 da, and you remind them of what you want to take. And then if there's necessary for more information, future resources, what's coming up next, you would answer that in your conclusion, in the ending. Okay? So the other thing that you need to have for your article is not just your short article, only up to a few hundred words. It's not that many, a few pages, and every word will count. And you also need two sidebars. And two sidebars in writing is it's a way to hook again the reader. They're usually pretty with graphics and color. They're additional information that's too hard to write about, so they might be recipes or a testimonial or an explanation of food groups or how to calculate, your macros. It's too hard to write, and you could put it in a sidebar all by itself. It's a topic. You need two of these, and 100 words or less. So many different ideas. I mean, I've given you tons. This could be your feeling section. Like when you think about the feeling, you might want to describe, again, all different kinds of options. But here's someone did rethink your drink as their article and their presentation, and then their sidebars were recipes. So a standalone little sidebar of recipes for people to be able to make fun drinks to support why they should take the action of getting rid of the soda. And then someone did a article on whole foods, and so they gave lots of different ideas on how to cook whole foods, how to find whole foods, how to find whole grains, what type of whole grains, explaining a little bit and how to use them. Okay, so again, they were talking about the benefits of whole grains, and then on their sidebar they talk about grains in more detail. Yeah, and what happens is these sidebars hook the reader that'll then go and read the entire article, or the reader that's reading the entire article can go to the sidebar to get more detailed information. And then here's an example of a gestational diabetes, of a testimonial of someone who shared their experience. Okay, so again, you'll need to have your article that follows the MAID framework plus two 100-word additional sidebars. I'm happy to help you brainstorm if you